Guys, we giving you a lot of access right now, BRKs. A lot of access, bro. I'm with y'all. A lot of access with this because this unboxing is crazy. What's up, everyone? It's Kyrie Irving here with BR Kicks, and we are here literally for the unboxing of my SpongeBob pack. Now I want to give you guys an all-access look to what went into collabing with Nickelodeon, doing this in partnership with Nike, obviously, and really putting my own aesthetic and my own feeling in this, but really connecting to my youth roots and what SpongeBob and what the characters mean to me. So the first shoe that I'm gonna show you guys is the SpongeBob shoe. And this caps off the, why I went into doing a collab like this with SpongeBob. And I was there when it first aired in 1999. And I've always stayed connected to it. Obviously, SpongeBob has evolved over time in terms of the storytelling, but the foundation of what SpongeBob means to me is that, hey, I was a kid, I really had a connection to storytelling, narrative, really understanding what friendship meant, currency with Mr. Krabs, always some teaching lessons in it that were obviously tailored to the youth, but I've carried some of those lessons on as I've grown older. So this is the SpongeBob shoe. Next one's are the Squidwards. My aesthetic is really built on authenticity and also giving the shoe character by having separation in the shoe. And I say separation, I mean like I'll always separate different portions of my shoe so it gives it a potential storytelling piece. Right here we have the Patrick Star, literally the star of the show. If you think about it, it's a metaphor in itself. And we have, obviously, I'll let you guys decide for that. And BR Kicks will put in the detail of what that means for Patrick Star. This right here, when you do a pink shoe, it represents strength for me, and it represents, a sense of pride. And it's not just feminine or masculine or anything like that. It's just pink for me is so expressive, and you gotta be really, really comfortable with yourself to wear a pink shoe anywhere, and especially a lime green bottom and a purple as well. So I'll give you guys, some backstory about when I release colors like this. I always push my team to do things that are outside of the box, do things that kind of are eye appealing, but the connection runs a lot deeper for, kind of color healing, just like light healing. This stuff for me it's a lot bigger than just creating a shoe. So when these shoes come out on the spectrum, I look back and I'm like, all right, obviously I have symbols on my shoe. I have some great aesthetics, but what are the colors that are really gonna make this go? Here we have Sandy, and this was gonna be hard to pull off because Sandy, she doesn't belong bikini bottom, but she fits perfectly with all the underwater creatures. Like she fits perfectly with it. Like she lives in her own house. I go down the line with Sandy means, but she's obviously from Texas, and I added an aesthetic with Texas on there. Obviously Sandy on there. Her flower. There's like subtle cotton here that they put on the outside of the tongue. And these are my Kyrie lows. I try to be as universal with my shoemaking, aside from like my on-court stuff, my off-court stuff, like my lows and my court shoes. I really try to put my mark in just making a walk-around shoe that is also performance-based. I'll actually take this pair off my feet. These are the Mr. Krabs, and they have just a lot of subtle details on here. Obviously, you have one-eyed plankton right there. You have some of the bikini bottom currency, on the insole as well as on the out. You have the gold plate of kind of Mr. Krabs aesthetic. His feel, he's always talking about money and his business, and somehow he always ties into the stories of startups and really failing, but also teaching a lesson to SpongeBob, Squidward, everybody around Bikini Bottom. Mr. Krabs is involved. He's the moneymaker of Bikini Bottom. It feels incredible to see other players, other athletes wearing my shoes, you know, kind of creating their own or following, you know, in line with the shoes. I always love making sure that they're granted access to the exclusive colorways, and really get a sense of connectivity to who I am and why I create the way I do. SpongeBob is my favorite character. You know, my favorite episode is Muscle Beach. When he was at Muscle Beach, the episode when SpongeBob was at Muscle Beach and he was trying to keep up with everyone. And, you know, he went and bought these big fake arms and he's like, oh, all right, he's getting ready to he's getting ready to lift all his weight. He's like, you ready, SpongeBob? He's like, I'm ready. When he's getting all swole, and then come to find out, like, everyone in Bikini Bottom was impressed with SpongeBob the way he looked, you know, from the outside. But SpongeBob in his heart knew that's not who he was. You know, he projected all that stuff in front of all his friends, and he felt embarrassed afterwards. And, you know, Bikini Bottom has a way of always working out in the favor of the good guy. And that's what I've loved the most as well. And SpongeBob is the good guy. Closing out with BR Kicks here, giving you an all-access look to the SpongeBob pack coming out with Nickelodeon and Nike. Be on the lookout, baby. Do it one more time? There you go.